Andrea Murta is an expert in Latin American democracy and human rights at the global think tank Atlantic Council. She says there's no simple solution to the crisis Venezuela is facing.
The situation is getting more and more dire by the day, and the question that everybody asks themselves is what's the breaking point? If you had asked any analyst last year, we wouldn't have predicted that the situation in Venezuela would still be deteriorating by the day as it is now, because they are facing already food shortages, they're facing medicine shortages, there's a deterioration of their democracy that you can see in actions in almost a daily basis as well. And now we're seeing a spike in violence in a way that we haven't seen for the past couple of years even. So we are very worried, the international community, and of course domestically everybody's worried about what is it going to take for the situation to meet an end and a breaking point. It's very hard to predict what's going to happen now. I think the opposition doesn't believe that there's a goodwill on the part of the government to move these negotiations forward anymore. This has been tried for years now with no tangible results. So what the opposition is now demanding is that they call for the elections that have been postponed since last year. There was supposed to be city municipal elections that didn't happen, and they also want an anticipation of the presidential elections that's supposed to happen next year. So I don't think the opposition is very willing to sit down at a table or trust the government to actually hear their concerns anymore. I think they would have to at least restore more of the power that the National Assembly had. The National Assembly, as you know, has been, at least in name, controlled by the opposition since they had elections a couple of years ago, but they haven't been able to really push for any legislation or really to hold a real power. That's one of the demands, since Maduro even tried to strip the little bit of power that the Assembly has a few weeks ago, and that was reversed back, but they should at least consider giving the National Assembly more power to negotiate and to actually rule in the terms that they were supposed to before they can expect to sit down and have any real negotiations with the opposition. One of the problems also is that there's a very strong coalition between the government, the Maduro government, the military, and the courts of justice in the country. And probably until we see some sort of a break from one of the points that are supporting this coalition, we're not going to see a lot of progress in terms of the democracy in Venezuela getting back to where it has been in the past. The opposition also needs to come together and create a plan for the country that goes beyond just ousting Maduro, because whenever that happens, Venezuela is going to have a very hard path ahead of it. It's going to have to restore the economic situation of the country that has been really collapsing recently. It's going to have to create humanitarian help and humanitarian corridors to provide food and medicine for its people, and it's going to have to really make the social fabric that makes Venezuela united again. So there's a very hard path ahead that without everybody coming together to work on it, it's not going to be a simple solution anytime soon.